Hi, good evening. I'm not crying, by the way. Just my eyes are running as usual. But we shall see how we get on without mopping the eyes all the time. If I do, you'll have to excuse me. So, how have you all been? It's been an absolutely glorious day today. Hi, Nathan. I was going to do so much. I was going to put a load of things on eBay. Hi, Amanda. But of course, I thought, no, I'm sitting in the garden. Tomorrow it may rain. Who knows? But apparently it's not set to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice, yeah. How come I've got one person in the room and yet two people are saying hello? Weird or what? Hi, Chris. And I've still only got one person in the room. Oh, I've got 9 in now. That was weird. People were saying hello to me. It was only saying there was one person. You watching Eurovision? My friend will be glued to it. Hi, Julie. My friend has been glued to Eurovision all blinking week or fortnight or however long it's been on. So I know she'll be there. She'll have a bottle of wine and she'll be watching it. As you probably gather from the TV behind me, I'm not. Mind I can't do anyway because YouTube would take my video off because I'm not allowed music or anything. I do miss that, you know. It would be nice, wouldn't it, to have a bit of music playing like lightly in the background. It doesn't have to be loud, just quietly in the background. It would be so nice, wouldn't it? But we're not allowed it because it's against the copyright rules or something like that. So I can't have any. Yeah, you can't have music, you can't have the radio on. I had one of my videos taken off because I was out at a live parade and people, of course, were going past with the cars and things, and they had music playing, and I got a strike against my video. So I thought, oh, charming. Yeah, other people I know, I've heard other people with music playing in the background. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe they don't get strikes against them. I don't know how they manage it, but somebody said there was a way around it, but I'm not technological. Put your teeth in and start again, Janet. I'm not technologically minded, so I don't know about this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you can't have any music playing. I don't think it matters if you sing. Oh, hey, Munchkin. But if I sang, then I wouldn't have 17 people in the room. I would probably only have about one person left that was, probably making their tea at the time. So we don't know about that. I'm trying to measure 5 inches for a square or another row. Oh, greetings, word be true. I always forget your name, so I have to call you word be true. I know everybody else remembers your name, but I'm clueless. I'm absolutely clueless. Years ago, when I first started this, I used to have a pen and paper, and I used to write everybody's names down, but I don't anymore, so I'm just being stupid, yeah. My friend said to me, how do you manage to remember people's names? And I went, I don't. I take a stab at them usually, but mostly I get it wrong. So, how have you all been? It's been beautiful today. I've been in the garden reading. I wasn't crocheting, I wasn't doing anything. I did go in the shed momentarily, as you gathered if you watched my video, but I didn't. I'm looking back, yeah, I put my makeup on. It's making my eyes run though, that's the trouble. I don't like wearing it anymore because it's just making my eyes go runny, runny, runny. So I've got my tissues here ready. Oh dear. If you watched the video this afternoon, you know the saga of my painkillers. I rang him up, he said to me, the GP said, yeah, I'll put you on different painkillers if those, are knocking you out. Put you on different ones. but the system's down. So, it might be a while before I can do prescription. Come up after about 2 o'clock, then it should be fine. So I goes up at 2 o'clock, no prescription. And I went to that's me necklace, there you go. I went to the desk and I said, he's, not done my prescription. Oh, well, right, okay. Maybe he's forgotten. So she got him to do another one. So I goes to the chemist bit, waits and waits and waits. And then she said, oh, sorry, we don't have them in stock. You'll have to wait one Monday now. Hi, Connie. Hi, Diane. Oh, I don't look too good without my eye makeup, but it's got to the stage where my eyes just run all the time. And yet they say I've got dry eyes. Yeah. So you didn't realise it was me, Diane, until you realised I like purple, and then you realised it was me. I love a purple, as everybody knows who knows me. Having said that, I am not wearing purple today, although I've got sneaky bits of purple in. The beads are purple. I have to get some bits of purple in. I've got a pink dress on today. Pink. You didn't realise it was me. You didn't recognise me without the eye makeup. Yeah. Oh, gosh. So do I, would be true, but when your eyes run like taps, and you're going down the seafront like you're bereaved, yeah, or you look like Kiss because it's all running down. Oh, so I've been giving it up. I've been giving it a rest, but I thought, oh no, I must put some eye makeup on. I've got to do something, yeah. But what do you do about eye makeup when your eyes are running? Hi, Granny D. How are you doing? Well, it's been a lovely, lovely day for a change, and I've not been cold for a change. Oh, I tell you, my sense of style would be even more if I had the money, Diane. I look at these wonderful dresses, and then I look at the wonderful prices. 150 something pound for a dress, and I'm like, no, excuse me. Second-hand rose here, or Shein, as you call it. Is it Shein, Sheen, something? That's what this is. I mean, the material is absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish material, but, still. When you have to be cheap and cheerful, you know what I mean, yeah. I'm not too bad, Granny D, not too bad. Keep on clocking, don't you, We have to do. It's no good a moaning, is it? It doesn't get you anywhere. And it only makes you feel better momentarily if you have a moan, doesn't it? But it doesn't really do anything in the long run, except if you take the heck out of everybody else that's listening to you. And who the heck wants to listen to me whining on for about an hour? No, I keep my whines to myself. What am I making? Well, I got this cotton. It was on eBay and it was really, really cheap and nobody bid on it. I should have known why, really, because it's quite harsh, if you know what I mean. Quite a harsh cotton. It's reclaimed. Oh, it's not got its label on. I'm showing you the label, it's not there. It's reclaimed. It says it's vintage cotton and it's reclaimed or something. Recycled, sorry, not reclaimed. So I decided that it's been hanging around. There were 10 different colours, 100-gram balls. So I decided I'd have a go, which is revolting colours, at these, like, one of those like Harry Styles type cardigans. So I'm just making squares. I mean, it's going to look absolutely revolting when it's done, but still, never mind. Never mind, Janet. You seem to like wearing revolting colours, so, Oh, you're going to the grocery store? Yeah, let me get. I'll just give me 2 minutes to think of a list. Yeah. Your children are coming over today, and your grands and the spouses. Oh my goodness me! You'll have an apartment, but you've got a big apartment. If you've got all them people in, they'll be standing on each other's heads. I went to the fish markets yesterday and the butchers yesterday. So I know I got a few days worth of stuff and it's gone into the freezer, but oh God, I needed a second mortgage. I was just watching Tracy from Crochet Rocks and she was saying that she'd been to the farm shop, got some fruit and some potatoes and bits and bobs, and she'd spent £30. I spent a lot more than £30, believe me. I think I spent that in the fish shop. I mean, it is nice, fresh stuff, yeah. You can't beat a bit of good, nice, fresh stuff, can you? But oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, I went to the one up at the Fleetwood. Well, it's near where the docks used to be. You know, the docks are a figure of everybody's imagination since, you know, they didn't silt up the channel silted up, so the ferries don't come in and out, and the big fishermen don't come in and out anymore. So I went up there. I had to go part the way up there because I had to go to the, as I said, the pharmacy for the non-existent painkillers that weren't there. But that's by the by. So I decided I'd go to the fish market, well, the fish shop, and then go across the road to the butcher's. So it wasn't just for one day. I bought in a load of stuff. You know, for a few days, it's gone into the freezer. Oh, hiya, Jill. How are you doing? Have you seen Shad around, Jill? We were all saying we've not seen Shad since he popped on about 3 weeks ago and said he'd been in hospital. So we're all a bit concerned because nobody's seen him since. So I just wondered if he'd popped in any of your lives, if you've seen him. Is he okay? You know, it's not like Shad not to pop his nose in, is it? You know, so we just wondered if you'd seen him because nobody else seems to have seen him. Chris normally sees him sometimes in other lives, but no, not seen him. You know, we don't want anything to happen to our little people, do we? Yeah. In case you're wondering, I've had 2 painkillers, so, you know, if I nod off, you'll all know, yeah. Oh, that's good. As long as he's still okay. We were a bit worried about him because he's not been on for the last couple of weeks on here. He popped on as he'd just come out of hospital, yeah. Well, if you see him on another one, if he doesn't come on tonight, Jill, would you tell him we've all been asking about him? And we're glad he's okay, yeah. Nathan's watching Eurovision Song Contest. So you might not get any sense out of Nathan. Yeah. My friend will be watching that, yeah. Oh, hi, Lizzie. Your power's just come on. Oh, blimey. Yeah. How long was it off for? We don't do too bad in the UK for power cuts. Mind you, having said that, you know, the UK would fit in one of your states, wouldn't it? You know, we're not that big all in all. Yeah. Hi, Nana Michelle. Ursula's beautiful French shawl, and you're on the beaded row. Oh, do you know, I've always wanted to try doing some beading, but I've never actually ever got round to it, you know. I even bought a book on it one time, but I think I gave it to a friend because I knew I wouldn't be using it. It was beaded kind of necklaces and things like that. And I knew it was out of my range, you know. There's things I have to hold my hand up and say, no, it's out of my range. Yeah. Yeah. I have put beads on things, but I've stitched them on, you know, individually stitched them on, yeah. Oh, thank you, yeah. It's a discontinued yarn. I think it was Wendy, oh, what was it called? Moiselle, I think, yeah. Where's Rick? I haven't seen Rick come on. Oh, thank you. I was just going to say, Rick's not been on for a couple of weeks. I don't know where he's wandered off to. But of course, people come and people go, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like thick and thin. So you don't need a pattern. You just need, ordinary knit a row, purl a row, or stocking stitch, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know why he discontinued it. Maybe it was the price. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, you mixed up. Yeah, I just got to say we haven't seen Rick actually for a couple of weeks. I don't know where he's gone. He wasn't on last week or the week before. Hi, Esther. I don't know whether anybody's seen him anywhere. Perhaps he's run off with Mrs. Peach. Uh, how am I doing today? I'm not too bad today. Not too bad. Got runny eyes, but apart from that, I'm fine. Yeah. I'm not making squares. I'm doing them in a... Lizzie. Lizzie's her name, yeah. Or Liz. I think it's Lizzie. I forget everybody's name, Joe. Absolutely forget everybody's name. Hello, Greek. Hello, Lizzie. I think it's Lizzie. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it's Lizzie. I am the world's worst at names. The other week I was going through all my great-granddaughter's children and I couldn't remember one of them. Yeah. Lizzie or Liz is fine. Okie dokie. We had Mother's Day a lot earlier than you did, actually, Chris. We had ours in March, yeah. So I don't know why it's different days in America than it is. And I don't know what Mother's Day is in other countries. Does everybody have a different Mother's Day? Or is it just us? Maybe every country decides, oh, we'll just have a Mother's Day. We'll just stick it in March, May, April, June. We'll just stick it where we feel like it, yeah. Just confuse the rest of the world, yeah. Yeah. You've been having a busy time of it, haven't you, Lizzie? I've been watching your Facebook, yeah. She's a social butterfly, is this, Lizzie? Oh, tomorrow's Mother's Day in the States. Well, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the States, then. That means Lizzie will be having another social event, yeah. That girl gets about, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't mind her social life. I never go anywhere. You know when they say, don't get into trouble. Eh? Bridezilla, how about Groomzilla? I don't know. Yeah. I'd love a chance to get into any kind of trouble, yeah. You never go anywhere. Oh, you little liar. How come your Facebook page is always full of events then if you never go anywhere? What, both of them were awful? Oh my goodness me. I know brides get a bit bridezilla-y, don't they? But, when they start saying, you've got to give us money and you can't come if you're not wearing white or whatever. Or you can't bring your kids. I mean, we all want our wedding, well, so far back I can't remember, but to be nice, but you don't start making all these demands, people doing this and people doing this. Greek Easter and it's wet. Well, we'll let you off then. I bet you've got a lot planned for tomorrow, though. I bet you have. I bet you're going somewhere tomorrow. I'll be watching on Facebook. Yeah. She got mad at the pastor. What did the poor pastor do? You don't get mad at the vicar. What did he do? Say the wrong words. Oh dear, I wish mine had said the wrong words. I wish he'd have said, sorry, I made a bit of a mess here. You're not married at all. I'd have said, right, that's fine, I'm going. Hey dear. Yeah, all these people having social events, yeah. I would have gone to more social events actually if I still lived in Manchester because there was a lot more going on there. It's a bit of a dead zone here. Bit of a nothing much happens around here, you know. You know, they get all excited if somebody leaves a pony eating grass. They threw the best man out 2 days before because he was 29 minutes late to the rehearsal. Oh my goodness me. She does sound a bit of a bridezilla, doesn't she? Hiya, Gail. She'd have loved my wedding then because the organist didn't turn up. He'd gone fishing. And it was before the days of mobile phone, so nobody knew where he was. So I had to clonk down the aisle in silence because my organist never turned up. So that's a wedding. She'd have gone mad at that, wouldn't she? Oh dear. So good job I wasn't a bridezilla. The vicar came out and said the organist hasn't turned up, and he said, "What do you want to do to me?" And my dad said, "Well, she's hardly likely to say she wants to come back next week, is she?" He said, "Let's get on with it." So we clumped down the aisle, and it echoed all around the church, you know, like clump, clump, clump. I mean, he could have said, "Could you all sing or something?" We could have all. And actually, my friend was in the congregation, and we said the audience congregation, and she was the organist for another church. So if he'd have left his music, she could have played. Yeah, yeah. The gang's all here. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who it does apply to. You're right. Yeah, doesn't apply to me because I've had mine already. I can even show you the card. Mum, you're the best. Said with a lot of feeling. It was a sign, you're right, Joe. It was a sign I should have turned around and gone home again, yeah. Hi, Lisa. I nearly did, actually. My mother would have killed me, though. It would have been a mumzilla if I'd have not turned up. My dad said to me in the car on the way there, "You don't want to do this, do you?" And I went, "No." I wish they'd have said that to me 2 months before. Then I wouldn't have bothered. I don't think I'm the wife type. I think I'm better solo, you know. I don't, but everybody my friends and everybody was getting married, so it did seem like a good idea at the time. But I don't think I was ever cut out for marriage and all this cooking and cleaning and all that doing business. And when I lived on my own, I'm very free spirited. I did clean, don't get me wrong, but I don't do it on a regular basis, you know. I just have a day where I blitz everything. Then it has to stay nice for a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? I can't be doing with this. Oh, Monday it's the bathroom, Tuesday it's the front room, Wednesday it's the. Oh, I'm not that organised, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a bit, well, it's not that old actually, but the wool's old, yeah. I like the buttons, that'll be pretty. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not methodical, I'm not organised. If I get up in the morning and I feel like crocheting all day, I will, or I used to. Yeah, I can't do it so much now. But if I felt like just leaving everything and, sitting in my dressing gown and crocheting all day, I used to do it, yeah. Nobody to bother about, was there? Nobody to criticise, yeah. I don't run on schedules or whatever you want to call them, yeah. My dad used to say I march to a different drummer to everybody else, you know. And I do. I'm very much a rebel. You might not think it looking at me, but I really am inside here. I'm a bit of a rebel. Yeah. Yeah. I've just been reading a book while I was outside. It's one of the ladies who appears in that Harry Seth Cohen's Advanced Style. And she talks about her youth, how she knew like the punk rockers and she wandered all around India and everything before she decided to settle down and get babies. Yeah. The weather has been gorgeous today, which is why I've done absolutely nothing because I've just sat in the garden. I just did not want to waste this day because tomorrow it could be pouring down and freezing. Yeah. It has gone colder tonight, which is why I've put my cardigan on. Yeah. Your dad said he would stake me to see if I was moving. I used to get my head in a book before I was married, when I lived at home. Put my head in a book, and my mother used to say, "It's no good talking to our Janet because she's got her head in a book, and you just don't hear any sense out of her." And I'm still like that. If I start reading, I'll just read, 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 read. That's why I try not to read because I can't put the thing down. Yeah, I'm making a well. It looks revolting, doesn't it? But it's going to be a cardigan in squares. But instead of making them in squares, I'm making them in strips. Yeah. I'm thinking less stitching up. Yeah. Less stitching up. Because we all love stitching up, don't we? Well, it's got two chances, hasn't it, Chris? I'll either wear it or I won't. Yeah. But I mean, the wool would have gone to waste anyway because I'm not one for making blankets, as you know. And I'm getting a little bit sick of granny squares. Yeah. But and it's not really nice cotton actually. It's recycled, and it's a bit hard on the fingers. It's a bit like crocheting wire wool, yeah. Well, if it's pretty revolting, I'll wear it then, Chris. I think the nice these Harry Styles type cardigans if you coordinate the colours a little bit better, but I haven't got any choice because these are the colours that arrived. You got 10 balls, and I got them for really, really cheap. I got them. I thought somebody else would bid on them, and nobody else did. So I got them for a really bottom price. So it's not a lot of money I've wasted if I don't use it, is it? Yeah. So we shall see. But you know me, I like anything a bit weird and wonderful. I've got my eye on some patchwork shorts. They're not short shorts, come to the knee shorts. But my bank balance is a bit at the moment. So I'm like, no, you don't really need them, do you? And I'm like, yeah, but they're nice. And they're going, yeah, but the weather is not nice. You won't be wearing shorts. And I'm going, yeah, but I like them. Oh, we used to sell a pattern. It was one of our best-selling patterns. It was like a little summer top in feather and fan in knitting. My goodness, we used to sell bucket loads of those patterns. Yeah. It was one of our best-selling patterns, feather and fan. In fact, I feathered and fanned that much. I think I was absolutely sick of the feather and fan. All had finished. But I don't knit as much now. The reason being is my chair, I bang my needles on the arms, yeah, when I'm knitting, and it gives me backache because I'm leaning in a funny position. So when I knit now, it gives me backache. I need to get another piece of foam rubber to put underneath the cushion on my chair, and then I can get a bit further up. Yeah. I did have a nice one, but of course, being such a little lightweight, little feather-like creature, I flattened it. So I need to get another piece, yeah. Oh dear. Oh gosh, gosh, gosh. What have I got to eat today? Oh, I've got a chocolate orange. I've already eaten. Excuse me, eating a bit of it. I've already started it. Already started it. It's a Chandy pattern. Don't think I've heard of it. Man, if she's a knitter, I probably won't have. You got an do you know, I really wanted some ice cream today. And I went and looked in the fridge, well, in the freezer in the garage. And there was this block of ice cream that looked like it had been there since Adam was a lad. So that put me off wanting any ice cream. And I was too lazy to go to the shop and get any. Oh, she could sell paper. Oh, yeah. I wonder if she'll model my stuff then. I could do with somebody nice to model my stuff. Don't say me. Your granddaughter gave you chocolate, aren't you? Lucky. I'm not supposed to be eating chocolate, as you know. But that is my downfall. Chocolate and ice cream. They are my downfalls. Does Chandy only do knitting? Is that why I've not heard of her? You know. This one's Terry's. It's not mine. There used to be an advert. Terry's chocolate orange. It's not Terry's, it's mine. Yeah, I like Cadbury's as well, but this is a chocolate orange I've had left over from I don't know when. Still nice though. My chocolate supply cupboard has gone very low. I need to go out and buy more. I haven't been in the cheap shop for ages. Oh, I know. We're lucky. Although I must admit, our Cadbury's really doesn't taste as nice as it used to. And I know the old thing about I'm getting older and my taste buds don't remember things right, but it still doesn't taste as nice as it used to. Oh, but I mean, the stuff you get in America, I'm sorry, but it's not Cadbury's. Don't know what they fob you off with, but it's not nice at all, I believe you. Many, many years ago, before they had all this import, whatever, you couldn't send anything you wanted to America. My friend's granddaughter was being 21. So she said, "What do you want?" So she said, "Please send me chocolate." So she got a great big cardboard box and she filled it with all kinds of chocolate, you know, Cadbury's chocolates and everything like that. And it did weigh heavy, so it had to go freight. So she was worried about it getting there. But honestly, her granddaughter said, "Oh, my friends are going crazy, Grandma, for all this chocolate you sent me." They said they've never tasted chocolate as good. Yeah, yours. I've only ever tasted American chocolate once. That Hershey's stuff. Somebody sent me a Hershey kiss once. That wasn't chocolate. I don't know what it were, but it weren't chocolate. Do you smuggle a lot back with you when you come over here, Lizzie? You smuggle it back in your luggage. I sent some to what's she called? Oh God, her name is Zelda Z. And the delivery man left it on her porch. And she said, "I haven't got your parcel." I said, "Well, it says here it's been delivered." Because I sent her a load of other stuff. I didn't just send her some chocolate. And eventually she found it. He put it round the side of the house. But of course, you know where she lives. It's really, really hot. And all of this chocolate had all sort of melted into itself. But she said she was determined. She put it all in the freezer. And I'd sent her some little Freddos. If you're in England, you know Freddo is like a little slim bar in the shape of a frog. And she said, sadly, the froggy, the Freddos didn't. I tell you, once you've tasted our chocolate, Chris, you wouldn't go back to the Americans. Everybody says the same thing. One of my friends is over there at the moment, and he's going mad because he keeps saying, "What's this awful bacon that they keep giving me? It's absolutely horrible." Streaky, awful bacon. He keeps saying, "Well, I known it was going to be this bad, and I brought some over with me." Hi, Yolanda. Oh. Yeah, he's over there. I don't know where he is at the moment, but he doesn't like your bacon. Oh, tell me about that, Chris. All our prices are going up. Shocking. I got a piece of fish yesterday. It'll do me 2 meals. It was £9 something for 2 bits of fish. Well, one fish. It was only cod. It wasn't anything fantastic, It wasn't expensive fish. It wasn't, laced with gold or anything like that. I got a bag of meat from the butcher's. And there's sausages and chops and different things like that. 50 something pound it was. About £53. There's only meat there for about 3 days for us. It's just, oh. And they wonder why we're all obese and we're eating junk food. I mean, what can you expect? You're not going to get anything decent quality, fresh fruit and veg and stuff. Hi, Susan. We just can't afford it. So you're having to eat junk, aren't you? Eat cheap. Because it's the only way you can fill your belly, isn't it? But. You don't like filling up on bread and potatoes and stuff. Oh. No, I don't like smoked fish. That's one thing I don't like. I think school put me off that. They used to keep giving us what they call finny haddock. It was like that yellow fish. Smoked fish. I don't know what it was. Your crisps are up to $7. Oh my God. Do you know it's the same in the worldwide? Somebody's making a profit out of us all. And it isn't us, is it? Somebody must be rubbing their hands somewhere. The ordinary people in the street are certainly struggling. It seems to be the same in every single country that you go in now. It's not just UK, America, anybody, wherever. The food's just gone up ridiculously. I mean, our heating, oh dearie me, don't talk to me about our heating. We're still trying to pay back the backlog from the winter. We haven't had the heating on for about 2 months. It's true, we're all going to be very poor. But the powers that be are not doing anything about it, are they? They're not making it sort of, a fair division, are they? Yeah. Well, the rich people don't, they don't have to worry, do they, about putting the heating on or whether they can afford a piece of steak. They don't have to worry about things like that. It's just us lot. Our wages, well, my pension doesn't go up accordingly. No, I know what you meant, Connie. You meant poorer. Yeah. It's back to the old wide divide that there used to be in my grandma's day, where people literally didn't have any money at all. It's going back to that, isn't it? Where people used to chop up the chairs to burn them to keep warm. It's getting to be a bit like that, where the old people go and sit in the library because at least it's warm, yeah. Yeah, well, if you look how much profit these energy companies have made, and yet poor some old souls dying of hypothermia because she's scared to death of putting, or he or she scared to death of putting her electric on, yeah. Oh, they blame COVID for everything, don't they? I mean, like our National Health Service has never come back to normal since COVID. It never will. I don't think it ever will. They'll be blaming COVID in about the year 3000, where it is 3 million. They'll be still saying it's COVID. That's if we're all still here. We won't have all died of starvation by now. Well, with either all have died of hypothermia. Well, that's what they love us to do, especially the old people, because, we're drain on society as old people. Apparently, our pension that we've paid into all these years is not a right anymore. Not our right to have the pension. They give it to us as a benefit. But we're being a big nuisance, really, because we're living too long. Just can you all pensioners just go away and die, please? But yet they'll give billions, our country gives billions away to other countries that probably have more money than we do. But you can't say that because you're being racist if you say that. Ah, dear. Doing blue. It looks bright there. It's actually a denim blue. I'm having trouble with our photographs, actually. My other PC used to have free, like, Photoshop. Then when my PC went, and you get this new Windows 11 or something, it doesn't come with Photoshop. So when my camera takes colours that are wrong, I can't alter them anymore now. I don't know what I'm going to do. You might have to butcher a cow, yeah. We haven't got anything to butcher. Only the dogs. We're not doing that. They've been out in the garden all day today, the dogs. Rosie doesn't like the heat. She kept coming in. But Trixie will lie there till she fries. She's practically cooked and she won't come in. I've never known a dog lie like so much in the sunlight she does. And she's roasting. Her little back's red hot when you touch her. Rosie comes in out of the sun. She comes and sits. This is the coldest room in the whole house. I think I've told you that before. She comes and lies on the sofa in here, out of the sun. I was sitting in my sun with my sun hat on and my sun specs, reading my book. That's what I was doing this afternoon. No crocheting, no nothing. The only trouble is reading gives me neck-ache because you keep looking down, aren't you? You keep going like that with the book. And my eyes were running so much, I had to put sunglasses on. So then when I put sunglasses on, I can't see because they're not readers. They're just sunglasses. because I'm not that rich that I can afford a pair of sunglasses that have got reading lenses in. You know, people who are rich don't have this problem. Have you noticed? They've probably got a pair of glasses for every occasion, yeah. A pair of different frames with glitter and stuff. I bet Kim Kardashian doesn't have to worry about whether she can read a book with her sunglasses on. Oh, uh, hey ho! You've all gone very quiet. What you all doing? You're not all watching Eurovision, are you? I know the people in the UK are. That's why we've got no Nathan. He's busy watching. My friend will be watching. She's not really a drinker, but she'll have a bottle of wine there. Shows us a bottle of wine when she's watching Eurovision. You're going to be heading out soon. You're watching it, your nephew's blasting it out, yeah. I've not watched it for years. People don't like Britain anyway, they never vote for us. I know we won last year, but that was a miracle, yeah. Oh, you're going to see your grandkids? Okie dokie. We'll let you off then. You're crocheting a sweater. I was going to start crocheting a sweater, but the mood hasn't got me yet. Well, I was actually thinking of doing a Doris Chan one, and her sweaters are top down, and you've got to really concentrate because she flicks them out from one size pattern to another size pattern, and she doesn't do the raglans every alternate row. She does, um, you know, so you have to watch what you're doing. Yeah. You put the colour on your hair. Woo, what colour have you got? My daughter-in-law does blue and purple and all colours like that. I need Ephraim. Ephraim would put colour on my hair, wouldn't he? He would do it nicely. I'm white at the sides. Look at the size of it. White. The white streaks. I refuse to say it's pale grey. It's white, yeah. I've not got enough courage to put colour on in case I didn't like it and then I get stuck with it. You know, if I want purple or blue or anything like that. Nathan was the one who used to do his hair, all different shades of green and all sorts. The knitting group, I only went to the one in the evening because the one that was on the Monday wasn't on the Monday because it was a bank holiday, so it was on the Tuesday. So I couldn't go because I was looking after the dogs. Wednesday, I didn't wake up until 1:45, so it was too late to go to that knitting group. So I had to go. I went to the evening one. So I've only been to one knitting group this week, and that's always a good laugh. That's always a good time. We always have a lot of hilarity. Crochet cape. Oh, welcome. Yeah, welcome back, Munchkin. And you haven't told us what colour you're going. Whether you're branching out to be colourful, a rainbow, or whether you just done it. I've had dark brown hair. That's my natural colour, really. Yeah, the sides. My sides are absolutely. I'm sure you can see them. Absolutely. White. They're white. I refuse to say pale grey. They are white, the sides. Yeah, they're pale blonde. That's what they are, pale blonde. They're not grey. No, they're not grey. I'm waiting for it to go white all over, but it's taking its time. It's still very dark on the top there. Really, really dark there. Dark at the back. It's patchy. But my natural hair colour was dark brown. Really, really dark brown. If you look at my wedding photographs, well, who wants to look at them? It looks like I've got black hair. It was so dark brown, my hair. But I decided to go lighter. And I went lighter about, oh, must be 20 years ago now, before I left work. Longer, well, yeah, it must be about 20 years ago. I've been a redhead, I've been all colours, yeah. I liked being a redhead. I was like a Cilla Black, you know. It was like traffic light red. Not that red that they dye the hair now. Some of the dyes that they put on the hair, the young ones today, you know, the really bright colours, makes the hair dull. Doesn't shine, does it? It looks really dull and dead. You don't mind it being red if it was shiny. But it looks like maroon and not shiny. Right, I'm going to change colour now. I'm going to go to green next, I think. Green. Yeah, hair's white. I'd like mine to be white. I love white hair. The only thing I didn't like about ladies with white hair was when they were smokers. And they always had that horrible nicotine yellow front on their hair, didn't they? Or if they weren't particular about their moustache, they used to have a orange moustache, didn't they? If they were smokers. Or men used to have nicotine coloured beards. Not so much these days because people don't smoke as much as they used to. It's kind of like a taboo thing now. If you're a smoker, it's almost like, ooh, you're a smoker. Ooh. Oh, God, the yellow fingers. Oh, that's before filter tips when they used to use, oh, God, yeah. I used to see men with really nicotine fingers. Ooh. You don't see that a lot now, thank goodness. It's all this vaping stuff now, I believe. I've never been a smoker, so, you know, I've never had the problem of giving it up because I've never been it. I think it was being at school till I was nearly 18. Um, in our school, it was we would have been expelled if we would have been caught smoking. It was that strict, my school. It wasn't like warning and telling you off for smoking. You were expelled. And there was no way I wanted to go home and tell my mum I'd been expelled, you know. So smoking just never was on my agenda. And then when I started going out and about and dancing and things, and a few of my friends were smokers, I used to wear the heavy, you know, mascara and everything. It was all girls eventually. Yeah, it started off being mixed, but it went to being a girls' school. And we had a very, very strict headmistress. She was, oh, the bee's knees, yeah. No, when I left school and I started wearing all this, you know, heavy like Dusty Springfield type mascara and stuff, I couldn't smoke because my eyes used to run like the clappers, and I used to be like Kiss. It used to be running down my face like black rivers, which wasn't a pretty look. So I decided that smoking was not for me. So I never took it up. It's not to say I hadn't tried it, but thankfully I never really took it up. Yeah. My ex-husband used to smoke when we first met, but not heavily. He only smoked maybe a few a day. But he stopped. He stopped actually when Ariane was a baby because I said, you know, I don't want you smoking in the house and, you know, and the baby, because the baby he was born with a really bad chest, my son. He was always choking up with everything. So I said to him, look, you're not being fair. If you're going to smoke in the house, you need to go outside and smoke. And it was winter time when my son was born, and it was snowing, and it was very, very cold. And so he soon stopped. Oh, I can't quit sugar, no. No, no. There was a smoking room that was very much frowned on, but you weren't allowed to smoke out of at your job. You couldn't smoke on the counter or anything like that. No, no. And anybody that came in with a cigarette was asked to put it out, yeah. There was no smoking policy on the shop floor. As I say, we had a smoking room, which nobody wanted to go into because it smelled vile, because it was a tiny little room and it stunk, yeah. I can't give up sugar. That's one thing I can't give up, Chris. Sugar, chocolate, I'm addicted. I need to have that. Was it acupuncture? Well, I did have acupuncture once, but it didn't work. That aversion therapy or something. You will not like chocolate. You will not like chocolate. But I do. They threaten me with instant death because I'm diabetic. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my ex-husband gave it up. I won't say quite easily, but he wasn't a heavy smoker. I've got to admit, he wasn't a heavy smoker. Yeah, it was funny that my ex-husband was like that. He could not stand anybody to smoke in the car. He used to ask them not to smoke in the car. And if they used to say, well, I'll open the window, he used to say no. And yet he used to smoke in the car. But I know a friend came to my house and he said, where's your ashtray? I said, it's outside. And he went, oh, you're one of those, are you? I went, yes, I'm one of those. Yeah, no, I mean, I've never smoked, so I can't say how hard it is to give up cigarettes. And I gave up drinking. That wasn't hard. I do have a drink, but I mean, I gave up drinking, if you know what I mean. That wasn't too hard, but I can't give up sugar. I just cannot give up sugar. Chocolate, anyway. I don't take sugar in me, but I do take sweetness. That's just as bad, isn't it? Because sweetness is supposed to be as bad for you. Aspartame or whatever it's called. That's supposed to be bad for you, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can't give up sugar. I can't. As I say, I don't take sugar in my coffee, but I do take sweeteners, which is just as bad. But I don't actually put spoonfuls of sugar in anything, really. We don't use hardly any sugar in this house. I mean, we do have it in. But this. I'm addicted to chocolate. It's the worst thing. I'm addicted to chocolate. Mm. Well, this is it. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to drink alcohol. But you do have to eat. So you can't stop eating, can you? Well, unless you're one of those poor people who are anorexic, but I mean, anorexia is like more of a mental illness, isn't it? It's like a control thing. I don't know much about it except to watch programs on the telly. They don't eat apparently because they feel that they're in control of their food intake. As I say, other people don't understand it because we're not that way inclined. But yeah, it probably is some kind of an OCD. Instead of cleaning everywhere, yeah. Yeah, I mean, but they're not as good for us as we think, are they, these diet things? I never drink a full fat anything. It's always diet cola, like you say, diet soda. But they're supposed to be just as bad, aren't they, with aspartame or whatever it's called? But that's the whole point of a drink, isn't it? And I really don't like water. I don't know what there is about water. It doesn't taste nice around here. My dad used to always say I would never turn right across traffic. I would go all the way everywhere. Like we're opposite side of the road to you in America. I would go out of my way to keep turning left rather than turn right across traffic. I would turn right across traffic if there was a traffic light, but I wouldn't turn right across a line of traffic. I didn't like that. I used to say Janet's the only person in the world who knows everywhere, how to get to everywhere turning left. With a bit of a phobia, yeah. I have to put some kind of cordial in my water. Can't drink water. I used to drink tap water when I lived in Manchester. And my son keeps trying to tell me that the tap water here is the same and that it comes from the Lake District the same as Manchester, but it doesn't taste the same. It tastes more like it comes from the sea. It tastes awful chlorine here. Ugh. Overpowering chlorine, whatever it is. Chlorine or fluoride, whatever they put in it, it's not nice. I can't do that. I keep telling you that, Chris. Because I'm diabetic, I can't fast. Yeah. I've not been doing bad, actually, Jill, for buying stuff, buying yarn. I've been quite good. Since I moved here, I've just not been buying it like I used to. I used to be awful. I used to have this yen I had to buy things. What have I got here now? Oh, gosh. Laura Sapida, her baby blouse, how to crochet. Lama Mama Kayla, Willow Oak Farm and Fiberfield, right? Crochet Me Fika. Eurovision, the Princess of Wales, something or other. The Princess of Wales, whatever, she's there or not, I don't know. No, I don't buy yarn like I used to. Hi, yarn lady. That's why I think my videos are a bit boring, really, because I never have anything to show you anymore. One time I was buying ice yarn, I was buying all sorts of things, buying magazines, buying everything, people to show you. Now I don't have anything. And I live in such a boring place. There's never anything going on to show you. You're going to on the plane soon, or aren't you? Lucky. You're leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. I don't mind sparkly water, but they never seem to buy it anymore. I need to keep telling them I drink sparkly water. I drink that if we go out for a meal. You know, other people have a glass of wine, don't they? I have a glass of sparkling water. But if you buy it in a restaurant, gosh, you might as well have had the wine. They charge you as much. Yeah, everybody have a good Mother's Day. I've had mine. We didn't go out for a meal, though. We usually do. But we didn't this year. We didn't go. I'm going to put this chocolate away because I'm eating it, and I'm nearly eating the whole orange. Oh gosh, the soda streams, yeah. We had one, but we must have got the only dud. My dad kept buying those little cylinder things and putting them in. It never fizzed anything up. I've never wanted to try them since because, my dad had such a terrible time with the one we bought. And they weren't cheap, were they? You can buy them taps now, can't you, called cooker or something, where you can get sparkling water and that, but they cost a fortune because you have to buy the gas things and everything. It's cheaper to just buy the cheap sparkling water from the supermarket. Oh, we've got fireworks. Somebody obviously celebrating Eurovision. Unless it's something some celebration I don't know anything about. Don't know where they are. Let me see if I can see anything through the window. No, can't see any fireworks. I can just hear them. It's not Diwali or anything like that, is it? Eid? No, that's gone. Maybe it's somebody's birthday. When I lived in Prestwich, there used to be some numpty that lived around the back of us that was always letting off fireworks, and there were the big industrial things that used to go boom and shake the house. He was an idiot. More money than sense. Yeah, maybe somebody's from Slovenia. I don't think so around here. It's not a very ethnic area. Manchester would have been more ethnic. Walking down the main street in Manchester used to be like the League of Nations. I swore if you stood on a street corner in Manchester, somebody from every country in the world would walk past you. But here, it's not like that at all. I was here ages before I saw a person of colour when I came here. I was like, and it didn't dawn on me for a while. I kept thinking something's missing. Something's not right. Because when you come from a multicultural place, and I just couldn't work out what was wrong here. And then it dawned on me. I thought, nobody, any other colour but white. I have seen a couple since, but there's not many. There's 2 more songs left. Oh, I wonder who's going to win this year. What probably won't be us. I don't know. My friend said she was supporting, but it weren't England. Her daughter's been listening to a lot of it because she lives in Liverpool. So she's been listening to a lot of it, kind of live, if you know what I mean. It's a bit of a mixture. It's sandy in some spots and pebbles in others. It depends which bit of the beach you choose because there's a long stretch of beach. Where we are, it's sandy, I think. But there are quite a lot of pebbles. But it's not all pebbles. We've got very fluky tides here where you have to be careful. There's a lot of places you can't bathe because the tide comes round sort of sideways and cuts people off. It's a bit like Morecambe, where they lost those cockle gatherers, yeah. Because we've got that leaning tower thing that's the lookout, where the Coast Guard sits, to make sure that nobody gets in trouble. They're always rescuing people in the summer that get cut off by the tide. Sadly, we've had a few fatalities since I've been living here. People wandering out and the riptide gets them. There's whole places along the seafront where it says, you're not supposed to bathe in, it's not recommended, or bathing is not allowed or something. Can't remember what the wording is. But in other words, don't bathe here. Somebody set one of the beach huts on fire the other day. And it's took the ones next door to it either side as well. So 3 beach huts have been burnt down. They're little huts that people rent by the year. I believe they're quite expensive. And they keep your buckets and these spades and things inside them, so you don't have to keep carrying them all the way down. It's a very desolate beachfront. There's no oil slicks or anything like that, but it's very concrete and stuff. I don't know whether they'll rebuild them. They probably will eventually if they were insured. I mean, I don't know whether they insure these things. But they belong to the council, actually, but they rent them out. But, I mean, somebody's obviously paid the rent for a year on those 3 that they now don't have. So I don't know whether the council will rebuild them or just compensate them or something. They're not very well used, to be quite honest with you. I very rarely see. They have got electric and water supply, so you can, make a drink, and some people have got like microwave ovens and things in there, but you're not allowed to sleep in them or live in them. Well, there's no toilet facilities. You have to walk quite a distance to go to the public loos, yeah. They're just like a day cabin, really, like a little wooden hut. Some people have got kind of sofas inside them and tables and that, but they're just really meant for the day. So you could make a brew or, maybe take something for the kids to eat and stuff. Some of them are quite, well, in other towns where, how can I put it, warmer kind of beach places, down south, some of them are really, really nice. All decked out with sofas and day beds and things like that. But these here are very tiny. They're just like a little shed. Let's face it, the UK just doesn't have the weather. It's quite windy where they are. It's quite windy. But they're handy if you want to get changed, if you wanted to paddle. My friend put a picture on Facebook where her dog was paddling away there, because our dogs love going in the sea. Her dog was paddling away, and I said, "Have you been paddling?" And she goes, "I'll put my swimsuit on the day you put yours on and go paddling." And I went, "Well, you'll wait a long time then." I have never even been down to the sea. It's too cold. The sea here, I would not dip my toes in. There's a lot of people around here that do swim every day. There's kind of a club. But I did notice in the winter they were all wearing wetsuits. They weren't that brave, yeah. I haven't even put my toes in it yet. No intentions of. I'd probably fall over if I walked on the sand anyway. There's a place further up in Fleetwood where you can hire those, beach wheelchairs with the big, big wheels. If anybody wanted to go down onto the beach with them. But I don't have that burning urge to go. Not that I want to hire one. It'd be handy if you had, teenage children or that had disabilities that wanted to go down there, wanted to go on the sand and the sea and stuff. I've only ever seen about a couple of them being rented out, but I mean, I suppose they must make a business out of it, otherwise they wouldn't have them, would they? No fire this week. No fire today. No fire today. I'm going to have a drink. Where's me? Get my little dolphin. My little tin opener. Jellyfish, no. Apparently there are some. I've not actually seen. Well, I've not been in the sea, have I? But apparently there are some jellyfish. But I don't think they're bad ones or, stingy type massive jellyfish. I think they're just little jellyfish. But I believe there are some. People have seen them. We actually had dolphins. I didn't see them, but we actually had dolphins at Fleetwood the other day in the sea, obviously. Not going to be on land, are they? But, I mean, I did see some people with binoculars watching something or other, so maybe they were watching them, but I mean, my eyesight's not that good, so I don't know what they were watching. But my son did say that somebody had put on Facebook that they'd seen dolphins. So we had a seal stranded on the beach not long back, a little baby seal that people were hauling him back in the sea again. He must have come up a bit too far and got stranded. Apparently he was only like a baby one. So they towed him back out to sea again. So that was a bit of a novelty. Because the people there were telling people like not to let their dogs, go anywhere near it. Not frighten it or attack it or anything. There was a picture of it on Facebook. We have a Fleetwood page on Facebook. I belong to it, but I don't put anything on it actually. It's just a good place to know if there's been any accidents or road closures and things like that. There's never much of any interest. There's always somebody whining about the dog poo situation where people don't clear up after their dogs and stuff. Happens all over the world. That we have it round here, No excuse for it, is there? You've got a dog you pick up, don't you? You don't walk away and pretend it's not your dog. But sadly, there's always that element of people who will just ignore it and keep on walking. My friend always keeps dog poo bags in a scooter. And if she sees anybody, like, she'll go, you've forgotten your dog poo baggie. I've got one spare. And she stays with the scooter until they pick it up, yeah. Because you know full well they were going to walk on and leave it. But she's there. Oh, dog poo bag. I mean, there is literally litter bins every few yards on the seafront, so there is no excuse. Trash. Well, there's no, I don't think there are any that provide the bags now. There's actually trash collectors that are volunteers that go on the beach every single day. Well, unless the weather's too bad or the tide's in. And they've got them grabber things, and they give them big bags with a ring and they carry them round. But they're all volunteers, litter pickers. And they go on the sands and on the, picking up all this rubbish. The bins get emptied every day. There's a wagon goes up because I often meet him coming the other way. There's a wagon that comes up and he just empties the bins, puts new bin liners in. But they don't actually provide the tiny little bags, no. There isn't even any water stations anywhere for the dogs. lot of people on the seafront do put a little dog bowl, at the edge of the property, the end of the drive. They do put a little dog bowl with water. And a lot of shops do the same. Put water outside the shops. Because everybody's got at least one dog around here. A lot of people have 2, 3. And there's a lot of dog walkers as well that walk, the dogs along the seafront. One woman has, one bloke just has about 6 of them. But they're all very well behaved. They're all on the leads and they're all very well behaved. They're probably all very used to each other, They walk as a pack. Our Rosie had a dog walker when they were away. She came every day. Oh, hi, Susan. Hi. We didn't leave her with that because I can't walk. I used to be able to walk Poppy because Poppy was a big dog and she would walk alongside my scooter. But I can't walk Rosie because Rosie would run. And she pulls and everything. Oh, I'd be zipping. I wouldn't need the accelerator on my scooter. She'd be pulling me along. She goes mad. Oh, excuse me. The painkillers are kicking in. I'm sleeping for England, honestly. I either have insomnia and I don't sleep at all, or I sleep for about 14 hours. No happy medium. Oh, thank you. It's only one of my eBayers. One of my eBay specials. You know me, I can't resist a nice necklace. I refuse to pay the massive amounts for them. I have so many, I should consider putting some on eBay myself, actually. But we shall see. I need to sort some yarn out of the shed. But the weather's been too nice to be shut up inside the shed. I can go in the shed when it's bad weather and I can go in the shed when it's raining. I need to take some photos anyway, but I told you my camera is altering the colours on things. So I can't put those photographs on eBay because the colours are not true. Oh, very annoying. I need an editing software. Everything used to be free, didn't it, in the good old days? Windows used to come with everything. And Windows comes with nothing now. You have to buy everything, yeah. Yeah, I still buy them quite a lot, actually, Susan. I still do. But at the moment, I've got so many, I should be putting some on, getting rid of them, not buying any more. I'm sure there's some in my collection that I haven't worn since the day I bought them, so I should put them on and get rid of them. I give a lot to my friend because she takes them apart and uses them for different things. She cuts the beads up. Puts them on dream catchers and stuff like that. Oh, oh my goodness me. Stop it, Janet. Stop it. It's only 10:30 and already I'm yawning. My son come downstairs to let the dogs out last night and he said, "You'd gone to bed, haven't you, early?" I said, it was 10 o'clock and there was nothing on the TV I wanted to watch. And I just could not keep my eyes open at all. So I finished up going to bed, but then I woke up at 4 o'clock and it took me another hour to get back to sleep again. That's the only trouble. I can't stay asleep because, age stuff, bathroom, middle of the night stuff. So I woke up at 4 o'clock and had to go. And then it took me about another hour to get back to sleep again. So the days of sleeping all the way through are gone. You know, you always have to have a bathroom break, at least one. I was talking to a guy in the library and he went, only one? He said, you're doing well. He said, sometimes I have to go 2 and 3 times. I thought, oh my God, get your prostate checked, love. I usually have to get up at least once in the night, yeah. More so have I been drinking fizzy drinks before I go to bed. I'll probably be up in the night with after drinking this, yeah. You're having a beer. Ooh. I like shandy, but I don't actually like beer. But I do like a shandy. You know, when you mix it with lemonade. This stuff, I wouldn't like to make a sweater with it, although I'm making a cardi. It splits. And I have to keep going back because I've left a strand behind. Anybody else having a beer this afternoon? I'm having a dandelion and burdock. A Pabst Blue Ribbon. Not heard of one of those. Yeah, dandelion and burdock. Yeah, you're right. It's a diuretic. I'll probably be doing a few trips. But it's a good job that we managed to wake up to go, isn't it? There could be dire results if we didn't. I've not quite got to that stage yet, Gail. Except when I've got a very bad cough. And then I do have to, you know, resort to other things. Yeah. Yeah. I luckily wake up. Normally, I dream that I am looking for a toilet. And I can't find one. And then I wake up because I haven't found this toilet. Luckily, I wake up. But I do dread that one day in my dream I will find the toilet. And then that could be a disaster. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to do a different stitch on each bit to make it look a bit different, you know. I'm not following a pattern now. Some of the patterns were about £8. And they were in thicker yarn than I'm using. And I'm like, I'm not paying £8 just to buy a Harry Styles cardigan pattern. £8 some of them and £10. I don't mind buying patterns. I'm not a complete and utter Scrooge. I'm not one that looks for free patterns everywhere I go. But I don't like paying £8 and £10 for a pattern, especially when they don't have. Oh, she spins. Got a video up. I've paid £8 and £10 for some of them, and when they arrive, they're just not. They're basic and they're just not good. I mean, some of them are really good. You get videos with them and really good pictures, you know, pictorial patterns, and they're about 22 pages long. That you don't mind so much if you're paying £8 and £10 for a pattern. But I do object to them when they come and they're like a single sheet and they're very badly written. And I'm like, this isn't even worth £2, you know. And a lot of them, if you scour about, you can find them on YouTube. Free, obviously, tutorials free. My friend very rarely buys a pattern show. Says, no, I always try and find it free. I'm not that bad. I do pay for my patterns if I like them. You know, really, really like them. But when they arrive and they're rubbish, and you're thinking, my goodness, I could have bought a baby book, for 15, £16 that's got 20 and 30 patterns in it. You're asking me £8 for one pattern. I used to object more because, like, if I'm making them to sell as I used to, you can't really add the price of the pattern on what it's cost you, to make the thing, and you may not use it again. You may only use it one time. And yet you can't stick, the £8 that you paid for the pattern. Although theoretically speaking, if you listen to these people who say how to make a profit out of your crocheting, they say, oh, you've got to factor all these things in, like you factor your electric in, you factor this in. And I'm like, God, I can't get paid for anything anyway. I started putting my electric in and my patterns in and everything in, and I'll never get anywhere. Actually, I very rarely use a pattern these days. I occasionally buy a pattern, but only if it's a reasonably priced one. We're talking £3, £4 at the most. And I really, really, really want it. But a lot of the time, I just use my vintage patterns and just adapt them, alter them ever so slightly. Yeah. Tell you this pattern I made as a teenager. This pattern must be 60 years old because I made it when I was at school in navy blue. It was my school uniform cardigan. And as I'm 77 now, the latest I would have been at school would have been 17. So that makes it 60 years old, the pattern. You can't beat a good old vintage pattern. Yeah, but that's how old the pattern is. It's got very unusual shaping, actually. It shapes in and then it goes straight and then it shapes in again. Yeah, I remember making it in navy blue chunky when I was at school. Yeah, when ladies used to be ladies and they all had the big winged eye makeup and they nearly all wore wigs for some strange reason. A lot of the patterns I've got, especially the emu ones, they were all wearing like curly wigs. I don't know why they never had their own hair. I can remember having a wig. It was a fashion to have a little bobbed curly wig. Yeah, I used to have one. And everybody used to say, oh, you look so nice with your hair cut short. How did I learn to crochet? I learned from a very old Peyton's book because there was no YouTube in my day or anything like that. And I had tonsillitis and I was upstairs in my bedroom. I had really, really bad tonsillitis. And my mum just came upstairs with a hook, a ball of wool and a book and said, here, do this, stop banging on the floor for a drink. Because the shop, I used to be hammering on the floor. Some of the wigs are really good, aren't they? But some wigs you can tell, can't you? The funniest thing that ever happened to me was I was walking down the high street in Manchester with a great big gentleman's umbrella. And then I heard this sort of shouting and somebody running up behind me. And I'd got his toupee on one of the spokes of my umbrella. I must have gone past him and whipped it off his head. So that's my claim to fame about somebody wearing a wig. Oops. Oh dear. I didn't realise I'd hit him. I must have just caught the edge of his wig with me. You know them little blob things on the end of an umbrella, at the end of the spokes. They're like a little knobby thing, aren't they? Yep, that's what I did. Poor fella, hope he could glue it back on. Mind you, I think these days they got much better glue. I'm going back when I was a kid, yeah. They've got this special toupee sort of tape now, haven't they, that they can go and swim in them and all sorts now, can't they? Yeah. I used to have those, and of course I never kept them, did I? We used to have the patterns, and where Roger Moore was on, and Twiggy. I've got them with Twiggy on and somebody else on. But I never thought to keep them. You just didn't think anything more about them. You never thought they would be valuable or anything. Yeah, Roger Moore used to be a male model long before he was ever famous, yes. Knocking everything down now. Before he became a famous actor. Bet they're worth a few bob now. Yeah, I've got Twiggy on crochet patterns, yeah. She did a lot of modelling. I've got some Mary Quant patterns, I believe. Somewhere in the shed, some crochet ones. She did a whole range. She wasn't on them. She just designed them for, can't remember who it was for now. I think it might have been Peyton's. She designed a whole lot of patterns in crochet, Mary Quant designs. Right, which pattern stitch shall I do next? I've done that one, I don't know whether I want to do a basket stitch or not. What did I do at the top of there? I might do a twisted stitch or a crossed treble stitch. Oh gosh, that sounds nice, Susan. We've nowhere to grow any veg in our garden. My daughter-in-law's been getting some plants and trying to plant them and trying in vain to stop the dogs from eating them. I could never own any actual Mary Quant dresses, but I did have, the knockoffs, the copycat ones. I had a couple of those when I was younger. Not got them now, obviously, because they're about size 10. No, I could never afford the actual ones. I used to get the knockoff ones like from Carnaby Street, where somebody was copying her designs. I did see quite a few of really, the real stuff like down in Carnaby Street when my ex-husband worked down in London for about a year and a half. And I used to go down to see him maybe once a month. I used to go for the weekend on the train. And used to go down, looking down Carnaby Street and looking at all the designs. Couldn't afford to buy much there, but I used to really love going in the shops and having a good look round. They were all real, what I call boutiques. And they were all individual. It wasn't like, you walk down the high street now and they all look alike, all the shops, don't they? They all have the same stuff in them. There were really individual shops in Carnaby Street back in the day. It would be the probably late 60s, early 70s. And each shop had its own individual style, individual look. You know, there was Bieber and places like that. I could never afford Bieber, obviously, but you used to have to look in the windows, and every shop was different. You know, there was the punk area and stuff like that, punk era. When I used to go down mostly, it used to be a Flower Power. There's a beginning of. You got married in a Jeff Banks dress, yeah. The designs were so pretty back then, weren't they? Now, I mean, wedding dresses, my God, the price of them. I think my wedding dress was about £40 or something like that. Now they're talking thousands, aren't they, just for a wedding dress? I wasn't a bridezilla at all. I wasn't bothered about, having the most expensive dress in the world. I just got a dress and that was it. I didn't want a fancy one. My dress was pretty plain, really. I didn't want all this embroidery, meringue and stuff like that. I definitely was not a bridezilla. I was married in 1968. People weren't as bothered them days. Oh, hi, Jane. You know, people didn't go crazy like they do now. You know, with all this spending all this money on it. I mean, weddings were nice and they weren't cheap, but I mean, they weren't, brides weren't demanding. They didn't have these, you know, dresses that cost thousands and stuff. We just, and it's the same with the wedding present list. You just put ordinary stuff on your wedding present list. You know, you put things like tea towels and bath towels and tablecloths. I even put dusters and things like that on mine. I didn't put washing machines, and I want vouchers for a holiday and stuff like they do today. I think they're really cheeky. I was just glad to get anything. Didn't expect anything. And people bought me an iron. I was overjoyed. But now they want the world on a stick, don't they? I'm crocheting strips, really. It's very revolting colours. Hold on to your hats, everybody. I'm making like strips to make a cardigan like the Harry Styles ones, but I'm doing them in strips. I'm trying to think of a different pattern stitch for each one. Yeah, they do. They expect the best, and half the time they've been living together anyway. You got baby clothes. It's a wonder I didn't. I was still using my tea towels about 10 years later because I got that many. But my relatives weren't rich. They didn't have a lot of money to buy me really expensive wedding presents, yeah. So I was just grateful for anything that I got. I'd even put shoe polish, and shoe polishing brushes and stuff like that on my wedding present list. I definitely didn't put a Hoover on or a washing machine or anything like that on it. I just put sheets on it, and they were about the biggest things I had on it. Sheets on a bedspread. I got candlewick ones. Do you remember those, people? Candlewick bedspreads. Pink. You're using a small addy to make tubes. I've got both addy machines. They're in the shed. I haven't used them since I moved here, I must admit. I won't get rid of them though. People are asking me, am I going to sell them? I say no. Oh, I'm glad I don't get invited to any weddings now. I mean, my lot are all on funerals, aren't they? Not weddings. But no, they're asking for full tea sets and things like that. I was collecting collecting Denby and green wheat, and I was just asking for people to get me 2 cups or 2 saucers or a plate. I didn't, I didn't ask for anything like that. My family didn't have a lot of money. My mum's relatives and my dad's relatives. I think people are just getting greedy now, especially when they ask for vouchers towards the holiday or something like that. We don't need any presents, just put some money in an envelope or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Man, once somebody that I know did that. They wanted money in envelopes or vouchers in envelopes, and they had like a post box thing. And the following day, somebody had stolen the whole box. So all the wedding present vouchers, money, and everything was gone. So, oh, well, they wouldn't be getting one off me, Diane, I tell you. Vacuum cleaner for $700. Yeah, send him a brush. You're right there. Send him a brush. Tell him it's in case the electric gets cut off. It's a do it yourself Hoover. No, I mean, I felt sorry for like whoever. I mean, the hotel said it was not them. But yeah, it was the caterers or somebody that had stolen this box. But I mean, they should have known not to leave it there overnight when they went back. I mean, the hotel was supposed to be looking after it, if you know what I mean, but it just vanished. They reckon there was quite a lot of money in it. So somebody obviously got tempted, didn't they? Yeah, I'd call in sick as well. I wouldn't be going to that wedding, Chris. Not if people were asking all that kind of stuff. People can't afford that these days. You buy a new outfit for the wedding, aren't you? And a lot of places are having their wedding far away places and stuff like that. They expect you to go there. Well, there should be more understanding. I mean, my mum's family and my dad's family didn't have the money. We were probably a little bit better off than they were because we had the shops. But having said that, I wasn't that greedy that, I would have asked for anything expensive, yeah. Yeah, it is sad that somebody took all the money and the vouchers like that. They kept saying it must have been one of the catering crew, that it wasn't the hotel. But somebody should take responsibility for it. And nobody once, it was a big post box covered in wedding paper. Somebody not noticed somebody walking out with it. That'd have been me. I'd have been having it under my pillow. And I took it with me. I made sure all my wedding presents came home with me. The ones that people had brought to to the wedding reception. I made sure they all came. Didn't leave anything there. Not even the wedding cake. Took that home as well. I think trust no one has been my motto since the day I was born. Oh, thank you, Anglesey. I tried to put a bit of makeup on today, even though my eyes are running like taps. It wasn't a good idea, but still. Yeah, my mum and dad paid for the cost of the wedding. It was supposed to be the groom that was responsible for, I don't know whether it was the wedding card or what it was, but my dad knew they didn't have any money, so he paid for everything. Which is another reason why I didn't go mad because, I didn't want my mum and dad out of pocket. I suppose I've always been a responsible kind of girl, really. I wasn't like a bridezilla that wanted, well, my mum and dad can afford it, they can pay millions out. I knew they couldn't. I had a nice wedding, had a nice dress, flowers and everything, cake and everything. It's just a day when all's said and done, isn't it? A few of my friends did all their own. I had the relatives made all the sandwiches and stuff like that. Oh yeah, you used to be able to call it off, didn't you? Breach your promise, yeah. Those were the days. Bet there was a lot of sad weddings where the groom wished he'd called it off, yeah. No, I mean, I've always been brought up to be responsible about money, if you know what I mean. Not to expect things. Oh, can you imagine if you got stood up at the altar? Oh dear. How embarrassing would that have been? Somebody that I knew called off her wedding. She went through with the wedding and then she finished up back at her mother's about 2 o'clock in the morning. The groom had got drunk, called her a few names and hit her. So she went back to her parents and she never went back and she divorced him. And it was a fantastic wedding of the, oh God, she had culture horses and all that. She had the wedding of the, so that didn't last. It didn't last 2 minutes, did it? She went home to her mum. She said, if he'll hit me on my wedding day, he'll hit me again, and I'm not going home. And she divorced him. Yeah, I don't blame her. It was just a bit of a shock for the rest of us because we'd all seen this fantastic wedding and all been jealous of this. Oh, for a fantastic wedding. Oh, the men I've turned down. My mother used to shout at me. And it's funny, all the ones I turned down that asked me to marry them when I was younger all turned out to be really good businessmen, with lots of money. They didn't at the time when I turned them down, but they all must have had more potential. And what did I marry? 'Cause I thought I was in love. Well, I'd fallen out of love by the time I got married, but That's another story. But yeah, all the ones that I wouldn't have married. One finished up being a millionaire. And why did I stop going out with him? Because he was shorter than me. He was smaller than me. How stupid. I didn't want to date a guy who was shorter than me. Hmm. Daft as a brush, that was me. Yeah, I've dated some men who've gone on to be really superb businessmen. Lots of money, big houses. I was engaged to one of them. He's now got a villa in Spain as well as a house over here, you know. Uh-huh. Oh, well. Just shows you what bad taste I had in men. But I kept saying to my mum, but I don't love them. Don't love them. My mum kept saying, can't you love where there's money? Why do you have to love where there isn't any? Can't you choose your men a bit better? And I'm like, I'm not getting married, and yes, I'm in love. Oh, I should have let my mum and dad pick me fella for me. By God, I should have done, yeah. Should have had an arranged marriage. I didn't pick the right one in the end. I picked a wrong one. I know my brother was so anti me getting married to Alan. You know, Alan, what are you going to get married to him for? Why are you marrying him? He said, you're wasting your education. He said, after 2 minutes, when the love's gone out the window, he said, you'll have nothing to talk about. And my God, he was right. We didn't. You only marry them, you realise they're two different people, don't you? Because in my day, you didn't live with them. In my day, you just saw them, you went on dates with them, and then they went home and you went home, yeah? I married a complete stranger. I don't know who on earth I married, but it wasn't the guy I went out with. He just was different, completely different when I married him. Now they're all married now. They're married. Probably still married. Although one of them, I think, on his second wife. But that's by the by, innit? Yeah, one of them got divorced. Yeah, I wouldn't get married again, no. Not if I'm, even if I met the right man, I wouldn't get married again. I'm not even looking, not even bothered. I know plenty of people of my age who still want to find Mr. Right, and I'm like, well, just leave it alone, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a companion, male or female, to go on holiday with or something like that. You know, that bit I do miss, like, you know, when you're single and you want to go away and stuff like that. You know, I would like a companion of some description to go on holiday with. You know, it doesn't have to be male, it can be a female, just a friend, you know. It's just nice not to go on holiday on your own and to, you know, to be able to look at things, you know, with someone else and see things and look at sights. And just the fact of being with someone else keeps all the, you know, the dross away, doesn't it? You know, the gigolos and what have you got keeps them away. But at the moment, I don't have any money to go on holiday with anyway, so it's a mute point, isn't it, really? I might try and save up to go on these coach holidays, where you go away for a few days on a coach and they pick the hotel for you. They take you to see a few things because not being very mobile, I can't really do a lot for myself, really. I know I've got my little mobility scooter, my little fold-up one, but it still would be nice to go. Yeah, so long as I don't have to share a room with anyone. I don't like sharing rooms. It's the best way to be. I've never been a bridesmaid, do you know that? Or a matron of honour. Never been asked. Never been asked. I should have never got married. I wasn't marriage material. I didn't mind having a boyfriend. I quite like that, when they go home. If I met a man now, he would have to go home, yeah. I did for the last 5 years of my marriage, Gail. I lived a separate life from him. We just lived in the same house. We were like, those weather dolls that go in and out at opposites. If it's raining, one comes out, and if it's dry, the other one comes out. We're a bit like that. Except he wanted to know what I was doing, where I was going, what I was doing, and yet I wasn't allowed to ask him what he was doing and what he was getting up to. But yeah, he wanted to know every minute of my life. He really drove me up the wall. Thought if you're living separate lives, let's just live them and not get in each other's hair. But no, he wanted to control where I was going and what I was doing. And it was all right for him to go out on the razzle, but not for his wife. No, no, no. But you're my wife. Yeah. Really? Why don't you remember that when you're chatting up all the other women? But that's another story. That's one other reason why I wouldn't get married again. Right, I have got one more row and then I've finished this strip. So at least I've done a strip. Not me, done a strip. I've done a strip. I'm not starting another strip tonight. You're lucky. What did mine buy me? I can't remember what mine bought me. An iron, I think. He bought me an iron one year. It was either for my birthday or for my Christmas. He bought me an iron. He said, well, you said you wanted one. I said I didn't want it for a Christmas present. Hello, I'm going to say my kiss saloon, my knit saloon. I haven't been drinking, I could swear. My teeth aren't working tonight. I'm on my last row. This is as rough as anything. I'm glad I'm not making anything nice with this because it's rough. It might be recycled and all that jazz, but it's not good on the fingers. The finger ends are sore. I'm not doing any more. Not crotcheting anymore. I've done my bit for tonight. What do I say with a present like that? Shove him in it, put him in it and shove him off a cliff. Mine had bought me a wheelchair. I said, let's see how fast it can run down this hill, dear. Mine was never romantic or attentive in the first place, which is why I shouldn't have bothered. Oh. Yeah, yeah, push him down a big hill and see how fast he can go. Just say you're timing him. I tell you, I was on holiday with mine one time, and he was leaning over the balcony to see how far it was to the swimming pool underneath. And my goodness, how I stopped myself from pushing him over the end, I don't know. I was thinking, can I say he slipped? Will I leave bruise marks in the centre of his back if I push him from here? Oh, it was tempting. My goodness, it was tempting. He doesn't know how close he came from going over the end. Because he was being his usual sarcastic self, being all mouthy towards me. And I was like, as I say, it's a wonder he's still here. I nearly pushed him off the end of that. With his luck, he'd have landed in the pool, not on the concrete below, you know. Oh, no, I'm never getting married again. I did about 23 years, I think. Well, actually, I was married 33 years because we didn't bother getting a divorce. But I think we lived together for about 23, maybe of them. I know I had my 40th birthday party, and I remember looking across the room at him and thinking, I'm not staying with you any longer. What a thought to have on your 40th birthday. It took me a while after that. I don't know. He lives with somebody. He's lived with a woman he was having an affair with. He's living with her now. In fact, he's been living with her longer than he was married to me. But I don't think they've ever got married. But I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't ask. So, naturally, of course, he didn't invite me if he did get married. He did say when he divorced me that he didn't want to get married again. It was just her thinking that if he got divorced, he would marry her. But he said, I've no intention of marrying her. So I don't know whether he ever did or not. You never know. Some people do after they've been with people for donkey's years, don't they? Maybe he did get married. I asked my son one time, I said, did your dad get married? He said, I don't know. He said if he did, he didn't invite me, so I don't know. I would love to be a free spirit. I'm just a bit hemmed in at the minute. Married your brother-in-law for 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is long enough, yeah. I think you should have to renew marriage licenses like you used to have to be with dog licenses, didn't you? You had to renew a dog license every year, didn't you, at one time when you used to have them? I think they should bring dog licenses back again now. Not that people would bother. But I think they would behave themselves if they knew that they wouldn't. Man, it'd be the man who'd be divorcing the woman because as soon as she had a baby, you know, he'd be like, I'm off now. Tough bunnies, you're on your own, yeah. The women all usually get left with the kids, don't they? Or the man off going swanning off. Luckily, at my age, I probably wouldn't have to bother about the undercarriage check. I would imagine men my age will all be well past it anyway. Well past that side of marriage. Thank goodness. Can't be doing with all that. No. My bed is for sleeping in. I was reading somewhere like that King Charles and Camilla don't sleep in the same room, that royals never do. Royals always have their own bedrooms. And I'm thinking, yep, good idea. Good idea. Have your own bedroom, yeah. A second-hand double bed and a single mattress. What's she supposed to do then? Sleep on the springs? Oh dear. Married life. I know, if you were rich, you'd have single bedrooms, wouldn't you? You know, with an ensuite, each of your own ensuite, you know. I mean, there must be nothing if you've got an ensuite, there must be nothing worse than your partner getting up in the middle of the night and he needs the loo. And I don't mean for a wee. You know, there must be nothing worse than an ensuite, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I think that'd be better, Chris, your own floor. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be much better, seaside, having your own bathroom, yeah. I've got my own bathroom. I mean, they use it downstairs if they want a wee, but I like my own bathroom. I really do. It's not nice sharing with a guy, especially when they've been on the beer the night before. It's not nice. They don't think to open a window, do they, or spray, you know. They don't think about the poor wife who has to walk in 5 minutes afterwards, you know. Oh, mm. Ah, men. No, I don't like anybody using my bathroom. Don't mind them having a wee. They get tucked short. That's it. They ain't having a shower in there. Mm. And they ain't doing anything else. I like to sleep in the middle of a double bed now, so I'll be no good with a fella because I couldn't sleep on the edge. Get out of the way. I mean, I sleep with a CPAP machine, so it's very romantic, isn't it? You know, it'd be like sleeping with Darth Vader, wouldn't it? Any man that thinks he's getting me looking all lovely in a negligee when he goes to bed with Darth Vader, no. No, no, he'd have to sleep on his own. As soon as we don't have any spare bedrooms in this bungalow, it ain't going to happen anytime soon. Oh, oh. My son did say if I find myself a boyfriend, he has to sleep in the shed. Oh, of course, I'm looking for a millionaire who would have room for me in his house. You get pushed out of my. You try sleeping with our Trixie. She's only little, but she's solid. I had less trouble sleeping with Buster. He was a boxer cross, as you know, Staffy. He was less trouble. Sleeping with Trixie is like sleeping with. No, I've got a double. Yeah, I've got a double bed. But sharing it with, I mean, you know, you've seen the size of Trixie. She's not that big, but she's solid. By God, she's solid. She done half of the bed. I slept with the biggest dogs. I've slept with Sky, Poppy, Buster. Gigi was fine. I could sleep with Gigi, yeah. I'd need more than a king size bed, I tell you. Nobody would want to sleep with me. I mean, it's like sleeping with a Hoover, isn't it? You know, this machine's going zzzz, like white noise all the time. And I've got this mask on, so that's why I always would want my own bedroom if I went away anywhere. I'd want my own bedroom. It's embarrassing because people can't sleep because of the noise of it, and I can't sleep without it. So it keeps me alive, you know. You got room for your crafts. I don't have any crafts in the bedroom. Well, I do with the finished things, don't I? So I've got the finished cardigans and stuff. My bedroom is only about 3/4 the size of my old bedroom, so it's. I feel really cramped in my bedroom. I want a much bigger bedroom, but yeah, I think I would be. I mean, I've got all my problems with my back and my neck and everything. Oh, the light just went on and off in the room. And my machine's quite quiet, Susan, really, but it isn't to anybody who's um, not used to it. It's like a white noise all the time. And then, of course, if it moves on your mask and starts to blow, it makes a real noise because it wakes me up when it does that. Yeah, French boot. She's solid. She's only a little thing, but she's absolutely solid, and she walks all over you. And um, I've had mine for about 15 years. My machine, so I suppose it was hard to get used to when I first had it, but I've forgotten because it was so long ago. Now I cannot sleep without it. I can't. I just can't nod off without it. Um, oh, you want to be near a French bulldog when they've eaten too much, Chris. Hmm. They put holes in the ozone on their own, a French bulldog. My goodness, they are stinky. If you ask Nathan, he'll tell you he's got one. They are the stinkiest dogs in the world when they break wind. Oh, dear me. They do. They blind your eyes. I tell you, Diane, the honest to God. Oof, they clear a room. Never known a little dog makes so much smell. You're having, how long have you had it, Susan? Or your CPAP machine? Oh, hi, John. I've had mine about 15 years or so now, so I'm used to it now. I've had some masks that I can't get on with. You know, they try and give you different masks and stuff, but they're digging in my nose and digging in my face. I had one that was making real bad lines all across me. Oh, you should have got used to it by now, yeah. I had one that the straps were, and they were pushing me up like that. I said to him, I can't do with it. Not only does it hurt, I said, but you've aged me by about 15 years because it was making deep lines across my face. I was looking old, yeah. I know I'm old and I know I look old, but it was making me look older than I was. I said, oh, I can't cope with it. I mean, it makes groove marks across here. You can still see them there. Can you see across there and across there? That's where it goes at night. You've got like permanent groove lines that go across. But still, it keeps me alive. What should I do? Well, we've had no Rick again today. I think he's gone off us. Not been on again, has he? He's probably run off with Mrs. Peach. Or gone to Japan for one of his Iggy Pop. What they call K-pop, aren't they? Not Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop's well, he was a pop star, I think, wasn't he? Hey, Do you know I could just nod off? My plans for this week, well, tomorrow, nothing much. If it's nice, I'm going to go in the garden. Not doing any gardening, just going in the garden. Monday, it's knit club. Tuesday, I look after the dogs. Wednesday, double knit club. Thursday's cafe. Friday, I'm home. So that's my plans for the week. Yeah. Yeah, no, I kept having sleep paralysis. Now that is scary. You wake up and you can't breathe, and you know you can't breathe, and it's like, is this how I'm going to die? Because I can't take a breath in. And just when you think you're about to pass away, you take a breath like that. It's called like a sleep paralysis. That's what I was suffering with as well. And I was also suffering with narcolepsy during the day. That was one reason why I decided to stop driving, because I could go to sleep. I've been gone to sleep in on garden walls. I've gone to sleep with a house full of people, and that's it. Yeah, Shad hasn't shown up today, but apparently Jill was on earlier, and she saw him on a live last week, and he said that he was getting his strength back up from from being in hospital. But he hasn't been on here tonight, no. But at least he's around. It's one of my eBay ones, yeah. My eBay ones. Oh, little grass beads, yeah. No sleep paralysis, it's so scary, yeah. Yeah, I could die in my sleep. It sounds awful, but you can. You can die with sleep apnea. You just, I had so many sleep paralysis type. All right, I'll see you later, John. I had so many sleep paralysis attacks that I frightened myself to death, yeah. I just had visions of that would be the way I would die. But the thing is, you know you're awake, and you know that you can't breathe, and that is scary. And then of course it brings on palpitations and everything like that, because your heart goes bonkers, because it compensates for you not breathing. Your heart goes berserk, and you get these like funny doos. And no, I wouldn't want to wish it on anybody. Yeah. So yeah, if you look it up, sleep paralysis, it does happen. And narcolepsy. I tell you, I went to sleep once with a room full of people, and I woke up on my own in the dark, and they'd all gone home. They couldn't wake me up. So they just left me sitting on the sofa and went home. And the following day, I'm going, where did you all go? They said, we couldn't wake you up. You just went completely, you just gone. Um, but I used to do that when I was driving. I used to feel so tired, and I used to know I was going to go. And I used to pull over to the side of the road, and thump, I'd go. My head had hit the steering wheel, and I'd be gone. And I would wake up like, wondering where the heck I was. And it happened to me a few times. I thought, no, I shouldn't be driving, because it could happen where you can't pull over. It could happen where there's no. I was snoring one time. I went on a course from the job centre, and it was boring. It really was boring. And I was sat at my desk like that, and all of a sudden somebody pushed me, and I'd gone to sleep, and I was snoring, really driving him home. I was snoring my head off, and the teacher was laughing her head off. She said, I'm sorry if this, I'm not that scintillating. Oh, God, I was so embarrassed, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, narcolepsy is scary because you have no control. No, you don't feel tired at all. You just go and you have no control over it whatsoever. Sometimes I would feel a little bit sleepy and I would think, I've got to stop because when you start that, I feel a little bit sleepy. You have no warning from little bit sleepy to you've gone. Yeah. And that is, yeah, that is scary. Yeah. But when you have sleep apnea machines, you don't have the narcolepsy during the day. So, I mean, I still have little periods where I lose quarter of an hour sometimes. Yeah. I mean, the other day I was sat in the chair here and I was watching the TV, and the next minute I woke up and I hadn't missed that much of the TV. So it wasn't like falling asleep. I mean, my son used to say he had conversations with me. I would be like sitting on the settee and obviously asleep or snoring or whatever. And he would have conversations with me and I would answer him. And then when I woke up, he used to say, "You've been asleep." And I used to say, "I haven't." And he said, "Well, what's been on the television?" And I could recite word for word what had just been on the TV. And he goes, "I don't know how you do it." He said, "You're snoring, you're asleep, you're gone. But it's kind of like a twilight or whatever. You know what you're doing, you know you're there, but you've gone. Yeah. It's horrible. Oh, yeah. But that's why I would not sleep with anybody because I've got to sleep with Darth Vader. And it's a big mask, it goes all the way over here. And it straps over here, one over the top. And you've got this hose pipe that goes like that. And it's on a machine, and the machine goes zzzz, like white noise. It's like a blowing noise, like listening to a very, very quiet Hoover blowing, yeah. Well, I've seen videos like that, lady, where they start talking a load of rubbish. Yeah. Apparently, the last time I had anaesthetic, I was telling this guy in recovery room, I was telling him all sorts. This nurse, yeah. He said to me, "You're really funny, you are." And I said, "What was I talking about?" He said, "I don't think you want to know." He said, "Let's just say it's between you and me." I don't know what I was saying to him, but obviously I was pretty funny. I can't have anaesthetic now. Well, not general. It's dangerous for me because of my sleep apnea. So they tend to do everything under an epidural now. Yeah. Oh, I've had grafts in my mouth. Oh. I've broken a little bit off my tooth. I'm going to finish up with no tooth. Look at that. And yet it's so expensive. So expensive to have new teeth, so I won't be having new teeth, yeah. I had a friend who used to pass out at that time of the month. She would, as soon as she came on, she would just go out like a light, yeah. Oh, they told me that they would have to use cadaver tissue in my back when they did my back surgery. But apparently I had an overgrowth at the bottom where the coccyx is. I had an overgrowth. So they managed to harvest enough of my own bone to not use cadaver. When he said we might have to use cadaver bone, because my bones have just gone to dust. Um, you might have to use. I thought, oh, I don't want to be walking. They said we sterilise it all. I thought even so, I don't want to be walking around with a dead person's bone in my back. Anyway, it was what would have it. I didn't have to have it. They harvested enough of my own bone to use. Yeah, but the thought of it, isn't it? I mean, I know you've got to get bones from somewhere, but it's just the thought of it. So I'm glad I didn't have a spinal fracture anyway. because I was thinking, oh my God, I don't want any more operations. Well, they give you morphine and all sorts of stuff when you're coming round, yeah. You don't get a choice, they just use cadaver bone. But they used my own bone. Yeah, I need a new hip, but I'm putting it off. My time of life, I don't really want any more major ops. I think I'm getting too old for it. Although they keep saying that, people have new hips in their 80s and their 90s and they do fantastic. And I'm like, don't think I want to. Oh, I had strip tapes, awful gory in it, taken off the roof of my mouth and put down here because my teeth were falling inwards. It was sore on the roof of my mouth. They took a strip of skin off the roof of my mouth and used it down here. That was sore. Oh, major heart surgery. My cousin had a quadruple heart bypass. That don't bear thinking about, does it? Quadruple heart bypass. Yeah, the roof of the mouth. It's so painful, that, the roof of your mouth. You keep playing with it with your tongue. Yeah. A bad valve and an aneurysm. Oh dear, Susan. Ooh. Thankfully, my heart is still ticking. I think. I've not looked at it lately, but I think it's doing all right. Yeah. But you never know these days with your hearts, do you? It's just like a muscle, aren't they? And they wear out like everything else. It's my bones that are wearing out. My bones are just disintegrating. They're just turning into chalk, I think. But there's not a lot they can do. Until we can get them printed on them 3D printers. Get a whole spine replacement, yeah. Ooh. So we don't see you for a week, Susan. We know that's where you are. Flat out on the operating table. At least you might be asleep for it. I've had to have my ops done under local. Not local, spinal. It's very disconcerting when they get the hammer and the drill and everything out on your knee and ooh. Yeah. My diabetes is what finishes me off because I don't do as I'm told. I've just been snacking chocolate here. That'll be what kills me in the end, my diabetes, yeah. Yeah, Joan Rivers, she died with some throat surgery, didn't you? She'd had that many surgeries. She probably had so much anaesthetic. It was probably killed her in the end, yeah. I wouldn't want any operations I didn't need. If I need to have them, if they're life-saving, I will have them done. But if it's like no, thank you. Not bother. I said to the GP the other day, I said, when my hip gets that bad, I can't stand it anymore, I'll let you know. But at the moment, I'm still walking about and it is painful. But, yeah, it's letting your doggy out. Woo! Oh, they were. Oh, you ever had an endoscopy? Oh, they had to put me out in the end. I couldn't do it. I could not swallow that tube. Couldn't. It's awful when they stuck that down your throat. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I was just heaving, 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 and in the end, they had to put me to sleep to get it down. Oh, I wouldn't want that done again. I've watched them on the TV. How they managed to swallow that tube, I don't know. I couldn't. Oh, I'm very tired. Yeah, I mean, you're not the prettiest, are you? When you're out for the count and your hair's all over the place and you haven't got any makeup on. I mean, I imagine she looked every inch of her age, you know. What they're supposed to be doing, taking ghoulish photographs so they could send them. Oh dear. Oh, oh well, I'm going to be going to bed now, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm very, very tired. No, I've had a camera up. That was embarrassing, but not bad. But a camera down is just for the pits, yeah. Oh, no, they gave me that drug and I still couldn't. I was still heaving. Yeah, I was still heaving. Right, people, as you can see, the eyes are going tired now. So it's time I went to bed. I shall speak to you all very soon and hopefully I'll get a video done. I've still got a lot more things to show and I've got a lot more things to put on eBay. So I shall wish you all good night and hopefully I will see you very, very soon. So bye for now. Bye now.